Radio Rahim here with Josh Taylor. You watching even Jake Paul and Tommy Fury type of press conference. I know how badly you want to be in the ring, how badly you want to fight. Is it difficult to have to sit out and wait?
No, not really. It's well, no, not really. It's all part of the game. You gear towards your fight and that. So, it's not. All this stuff's just part of seeing it and just going around to the job. So yeah, it's not difficult. It's not difficult, no.
Jake's one of the best talkers on social media. He's a good troll, and there are some excellent trolls in your division as well. What do you make of these most recent comments by Teofimo Lopez?
Listen, it is what it is. He's just trying to big himself up, trying to land himself the fight. I'd be probably doing the same thing in a different style, saying I want that fight as well. I've got all the belts, I've got all the massive target on my back. So everybody wants what I've got now. So I'm the man. So I am the man at 140, and there's no doubt in my mates, but I am the man at 140. I've got massive fights going on. I don't know why he keeps looking past Kambosos. Kambosos is a hard fight for him, tough fight. Maybe he's struggling a little bit with the weight. He's pulled out a couple of times. So the boy wants to decide what he wants to do. He's going to fight Kambosos. He's not going to fight Kambosos. He's going to fight. He's not going to give Loma the rematch. Now he is going to give Loma the rematch. He wouldn't come over to the UK to fight me. Now he is going to come over to the UK and fight me. The boy's a clown. He needs to make up his mind. And his daddy does his talking, all his talking for him as well. His little daddy's boy.
There's a lot of dust-up happening at 135, but at 140, ideally, what would be? How would you finish this year?
Well, ideally, I was supposed to be fighting on the 18th of December against Jack Carroll, my mandatory defence. I've had to put it back. I had a little bit of a knee injury, so I've had to postpone it till February now. So finishing this year's. I'm not going to finish it this year with a fight, so unfortunately, which is a little bit frustrating, but you can't help these things happening with injuries, so I've postponed the fight. I've got to make sure I'm in top shape and top condition come fight night, so I'm not getting in there injured, and I'm not making sure that, I'm in there in the best condition I can possibly be,
And as you say, you're the man at 140, you're undisputed. Well, that usually comes with a pretty decent payday, some big fights.
Yeah.
That has to be on your mind. I know you wanted to finish the fight, finish the year, as you said. But what's the big fight that you can draw maybe in 2022?
There's lots of big fights out there, You've got the contenders at 140 now as well. You've got another mandatory. You've got Sean Zapida. Got Zapida as well. He's a good fighter. We've both fought similar opponents as well, so that'd be a good fight. But for me, I want to move up. I've achieved everything I can at 140. I've proved I'm the man. There is other good fights out there, but for me, I want to move up in weight class. I want to become a 2-weight world champion. I want to get a couple of straps up at 147 and have some real good, tasty fights up there.
Well, we know in the time, anytime soon, I should say, you're not going to see Lopez or Lomachenko probably ever, or Tank at 47. So would you consider staying at 40 if you could draw them to 40 to face you?
Listen, we'll see what happens. I'm open to any fight. Boxing's a business. I'm open to any fight, and anything can happen. If everything's right for me at the time, I'm holding all the cards. I'm the A side. I'm the man now, so I'm holding all the cards. If it's right for me at the time, the money's right, the timing's right, I'll take it, But if there's things coming up that I want to do, like I really want to do, and if I've got a chance to go and do it, which is go up to 147 and challenge for a world title up there, I'll do that, But I could be a career 140 pounder. I could be. But I've proved everything I can at 140. I am the man, But there is big fights out there as well, still at 140. But what I want to do for motivation wise and legacy, I want to move up to 147 and become a 2-weight world champion and get a couple of straps up there.
As we've mentioned, Lopez says that Lomachenko beats everybody but him. Yeah. If they did have a rematch, who do you think wins it?
I think in the rematch, Loma wins that one. I just think Loma started a little bit too late. He was injured as well. I think he had a shoulder injury, I think it was. So he was injured as well. But I think once he's got started, Loma Lopez had a real hard time with it, you know. So I think if he starts earlier the next time, if it happens, I think Loma beats him this time.
We know that Devin Haney is about to have a fight, and there's a whole debate as to Garcia, Haney, Diaz.
It's a hot division. It's a hot division of it. And then you got Tank Davis in there as well. Which it's a hot division with all them fighters there, and they all need to fight each other. You know, to see who's the real top dog. You know, no, because no one knows. Everybody thinks I think this guy, I think that guy, I think this guy. So
Which guy do you think?
to me, I think Devin's a good one. I think Devin's real good. I also, I'd probably say Devin. Yeah, probably Devin. Ryan Garcia is good as well, but he sort of went off the boil a little bit in terms of taking a lot of time off. He's an activity recently, but he's a good fighter as well. So yeah, they're all good fighters, you know. So yeah, I think it's a real good division at the minute.
As you just mentioned, even Canelo has said that Garcia's focus sometimes isn't there, that he's not dedicated enough to the sport.
Oh, really? I never saw that.
Yeah, he's recently said that about Ryan Garcia. If you see a fighter with that kind of talent having dedication issues.
What I saw with Garcia was the last time he took a little bit of time off due to a little bit mental health issues and struggling a little bit. So I think that's why he's taken the time off. That's all I really know. But I don't know anything about the other side, you know. But if that's coming from Canelo, it's not a good sign when someone in your camp is saying that about one of the most talented fighters in the gym. You know, I don't know much about that. That's the first I've heard that.
How do you reckon you refocus the mind if you're a young guy with that kind of talent? And clearly everybody's got a human life to contend with also. What would be your advice to refocus a mind of a talented fighter like that?
Well, he's obviously got a bundles of talent, and he's very popular as well. You know, from my point of view, I saw him. It says he was struggling with mental health and taking a little bit of time off from boxing. So, for me, it would be, you know, your health is more important than boxing. You've got to get your head right. You know, boxing's too much of a difficult game to not be doing it full-heartedly, and if your head's not right, it's even more of a dangerous game. So, for me, I would say take your time, make sure you're right mentally, get everything right, sort yourself out, get your mind focused, and come back to the gym when you're ready to come back to the gym and do it properly and fulfill your potential.
Well, while you're healing up that knee, you might as well put your analyst hat on, keep the microphone in your face. You seem to got some pretty well-honed opinions. We're sitting here for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. A bit of an odd matchup. This isn't traditional boxing. We all know that. But how do you see this fight going?
It's a fun matchup, you know. It is a fun matchup, you know. It's a boxer versus a YouTuber, really, you know, essentially, you know, YouTuber celebrity. And it's a big fight because he's massively popular. You know, he brings in the numbers, brings in the eyes and the audiences, you know, and the pay-per-views. So he's very popular, and it's a good fight for Tommy as well in terms of his popularity. He'll get paid well as well in this fight. But all the pressure, in my opinion, is on Tommy Fury. He is the boxer. So I know he's quite inexperienced as a pro himself as well, but he is the boxer. He comes from a fighting family, comes from a boxing family, so all the pressure's on him. So it'd be interesting to see how he deals with the pressure and with the expectation. So Jake Paul, I don't really think's got anything to lose, because if he loses, he's lost to the boxer. So it's a smart move from him. So yeah, it's an interesting fight. It's a bit of a fun matchup. I would expect Tommy Fury to come through it. But again, it's boxing, you never know. So you never know.
Does Jake Paul's career and approach to boxing offend you at all?
No, not really. You know, it doesn't offend me, but you know, at the same time, it's not a circus either. You know, it's not boxing's not a circus. It's not a show. People get hurt in this business, you know, and if you're messing around with it, you can get hurt. You can get seriously hurt. People can lose their lives. People can lose their ability to walk, and you know, and get paralyzed, and all sorts of brain damage. And it's a dangerous sport, you know. So if you're playing around with it, it can look terrible on the sport if one of these guys end up getting hurt, you know, and it'll reflect badly on the sport. It's not WWE wrestling; it's a serious sport.
Guys with good footwork and boxing ability have been very successful in the heavyweight division as of late. We know Tyson Fury, in an epic trilogy classic, knocks out Deontay Wilder, and Joshua loses his belts to Usyk, much the same style. When we do get an undisputed heavyweight champion, who do you expect that champion to be?
I think it'll be Tyson Fury. The fight with Usyk's a very good fight as well. I think that's more of a chess match. It's more of a technical boxing match. I think the two of them are fantastic boxers and with wizardry. They're both kind of wizards. They've got lots of tricks up their sleeves. They're very clever, slippery fighters, and can fight. The two of them can fight as well. They can both do it all. Tyson Fury's more unpredictable in what he's going to do. His offbeat rhythm and his size and his natural size as well, and he's quite quick too, and he can fight too. So I just think in that fight, but then you've got Usyk, who can do it all as well. Seeing his angles, his head movement, his feet work, and very, very clever fighter. Very clever fighter. And can punch a bit as well. Obviously, he's a big guy, but I think Fury's natural size and also his boxing IQ and his boxing brains as well will come out on top of that. I think it's every bit as good as Usyk's.
Fury has cleared his path to an undisputed title fight if he wants it, but Joshua might have something to say about this matchup ever happening. He's still got a shot at reclaiming his titles with Usyk. Do you expect
the rematch clause? I don't know if it's happening. Is it?
Oh, it's happening. I believe it's happening in March. Do you think Joshua has a chance to come through?
Well, of course, it's heavyweight boxing, but I think if he does anything like he did the last time, I think it's Usyk's fight 10 times out of 10. Unless Joshua catches him with a big punch and hurts him and gets him out of there. But I think what Joshua has to do is use his natural size and strength and impose it from the very first bell with front foot pressure, educated front foot pressure, not just running in and throwing punches because you're walking to a shot from Usyk, but educated front foot pressure, keeping tight, making yourself a little bit smaller, pushing Usyk back, getting physical with him, shove him, push him, lay on him, drag him about, tire him out, use your size and your strength. That's what I think he needs to do, is make it a hard fight from the first bell, and he could tire Usyk out with the size and ability, the size and strength of the natural bigger man. So I think that's what he has to do. If he's got the ability to do that now, it completely changes style. We don't know. That's from now to March. It's not an awful long time to completely change your style, but you've got to respect Joshua. He's come over to America. He's looking for new trainers. He's looking to change things up. He's looking to right his wrongs, and he's wanting to better himself. So you've got to respect it. So if he comes out and does go on the front foot and put them under pressure and imposes his size and strength by laying on him, hitting him round the side, being a little bit more crude instead of clean cut, I think he can make a very tough night for Usyk and get him out of there. Well, I think he can, but I don't know if he has the ability to do it, but we'll see.
As you said, Joshua's been reported to be shopping for trainers. You've clearly got a game plan for him. Who would you put him with if you had the magic wand to be the guy who decides who's in Joshua's corner?
I really don't know, I know he went over to Reynoso, I think he did. Did he go to Reynoso? I think he went there, which I think that would be a good choice. But I don't really know, it's a hard decision to do. I couldn't possibly say make that decision for myself either. It's one I would have to sit down and really think about, because it's a big decision to make.
And lastly, having accomplished something like becoming undisputed at 140, which is a huge achievement in your career, obviously a goal that you set and achieved, and then having to contend with an injury that takes you off rails a little bit, it must give you a sense of how short, rewarding this sport can be, and how things can change in a day.
It's been a frustrating couple of years for me. I beat Regis Progress, and then I was due to get my mandatory in the March the year after the pandemic hit. So then it got put back to June last, I think September last year. So that was another layback, and then I was due to box Ramirez in March this year, and it got put back to May. So that's a full year and a half of delays where I should be. I should be already moved up to 147 or already a couple of defences in by now. So it's been a halt in my career, not just on mine, but everybody's. But I've had a couple of fights in 2 years. One was with no one there, and one was in very limited, restricted circumstances. My last one there. So it's been a couple of frustrating couple of years, and now this fight has been put back. I was due to fight on 18th of December, and looking forward to having a good Christmas for once. Enjoying the good food and relaxing and enjoying the festive period. But again, it's getting put back again, so that's another delay. It's been a real frustrating couple of years for myself. I should be a little bit further ahead where I am at the minute, but everyone's in the same boat, so I can't be too pissed off and cry about spilled milk. Everyone's in the same boat, but it has been frustrating, and especially this one here, because this one again is out of my control with the injury. So it's a little bit frustrating. Yeah.
Are you at all concerned that when you do come back, there'll be ring rust, so you'll pay a cost for that time outside the ring?
Not at all, because I'm in the gym. I'm still training. The fight's only been postponed. It's not been cancelled. It's just been postponed another couple of months back. So that gives me time to get treatment on the injury, get work on it, get back to doing my running and doing my S&C. But I'm still in the gym and I'm still boxing. I'm still doing my boxing stuff and everything else. But I can't do, like, say, my S&C, certain exercises, main exercises that I can do. I can't jump around certain ways. I can't run. I can't do my runs, my conditioning runs and my conditioning sessions and stuff. So there's a lot of things that I can't do, which is really important and imperative to my preparations for fights. So I have to put it back, So it's been frustrating. It's out of my control.
How do you keep your spirits high during a year and a half of a frustrating time?
You just got to keep positive, You just got to keep saying, look to the next one. There's no point in being doom and gloom. You got to just try and keep upbeat about it. It's been frustrating, I've been luckily enough one of the lucky fortunate few, like during the lockdowns and stuff. I wasn't locked away in my house all the time. I was still able to go to the gym and train because I had a sports exemption. I could still go into the gym and train and still go and do what I do for a living every day in the gym and stuff. I also built a gym in my house out in the garage as well. So I built a gym out there, so I was keeping fit and keeping active during lockdown and stuff. So I've been pretty lucky and fortunate that I've been able to still kind of go half about my normal day-to-day life almost, So, but it has been frustrating in terms of everything else. Not being able to do a thing, It's been a bit crap.
A year from now, when we're coming to the end of 2022, what would you like to be able to say you'd accomplished in 2022? How do you see this next 12 months or so going for you to reach the goal that you've set?
Yeah, made this defence, make this defence of Jack Catterall, given that I get through it. Because it's a tough fight against Jack Catterall. Everybody's saying, oh, you get through him easy. But I think I can win that fight. I don't think he gets near me when I'm on form. But he's a very good fighter. He is a very good fighter. So my focus is right now is on Jack Catterall, nothing else. But there is also wee bits looking past what if this, what if that. So I would love to, have made a couple of defences against big fights, and then move up to 147. And hopefully by the end of next year, I maybe have a world title at 147.
Well, we've missed you in the ring. I hope 2022 is a busy one for you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Undisputed champion at 140 pounds, Josh Taylor with Radio Rahim.